Alright, assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you all. Welcome to KeepingItHalal.com's Culture Mashup Community Cafe. And we're proud to be associated with the Ryerson PSA, the Pakistani Students Association, the Ryerson Afghan Students Association, as well as the UFT St. George Arab Students Association.
This is the first time KAH is hosting an event outside of UFT, and we're very excited to be here. Because we love you, Ryerson.
Alright, so since we're at Ryerson, us being UFT students, we were wondering if we get a master's degree for being here. Is that how it works?
Yo.
Get off the shade.
We have some rotten eggs in you.
Alright, so since we have so many cultural clubs with us today, we were wondering who's from where. We have any Afghans here?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, there's two Afghans.
What is this? Two Afghans.
Any Arabs?
No, there's
Arabs? MashaAllah.
Alright, so if you're a Twitter fan, you can tweet with the hashtag Community Cafe. How about the Pakistanis?
It's too many of them, man.
There's too many. You want we try it? Afghanis, how many are you? I think we got more than two. What about the Arabs? Oh, in that corner. So, my name is Nosayba and I'm the president and the founder of KeepingItHalal.com.
My name is Nafisa Chaudhry, and I'm the Artistic Scout.
And we don't really fit into any of the mentioned categories, so if we're wondering if there are any Indians here. Oh, it's a PSA.
Any Bengalis?
Yeah.
So our next performer is Maryum Khalid, a York alumnus, which means she's pretty adept at holding forks. Jokes aside, she studied psychology at York, and she now works as a therapist for children with autism. About herself, she says, "I'm not yet aware of what turns in my life I will take, but I know. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and mouths to go before I sleep, and mouths to go before I sleep." Give it up for Maryum Khalid.
Can you guys hear me?
Can you move a little bit?
Okay, so my first piece is called Changing Seasons. Rainy days in spring are incontrovertible. They are refined by the miraculous brightness of clear vision. Mingled in amplification, living things never feel the presence of anesthesia, always aiming to bestow alms. Snowfall tangles living things' minds as winter approaches. Cold nights, frost bites, and the tantalized sufferable bruises, unable to heal the inevitable pain that is considered to be by all unscathed.
Maryum, can you hold the mic closer so the voice
Okay, my second piece is called His Eyes. As silent as she is, she views her surroundings, consisting of her class, of her being, of her satisfaction, looking deeply, secretly at his face. She thinks, she feels, she visions within his smile, trying to settle herself. Her ideas do not fit real conditions. She is a dreamer, fond of imagining about pleasant things, things that may be unreal. As he smiles, her heart is delighted, amused by the perfection of her dimensions. In a sudden, she comes across, through trying, a dull, gloomy reflection of his most beautiful eyes. She struggles to understand the sudden blur as the eyes stare at her. She's confused, motionless, her heart pumping wildly. She instantly looks away as his eyes keep watching. a good feeling she has soared again in her dimensions. Thank you.
Alright, so next up we'll have Suhaib Abbasi. He performs in the sheets. He's worked with Junaid Jamshid. He does covers with Dawood Wainsbury, Zayn Bika. Has his own album called To Remember and is working on his second album. Could we give a big hand to my friend Suhaib Abbasi?
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Anyways, Jazakallah khair for once again inviting me here. Keeping it halal has always been there. I've been to Ryerson a few times, the UFT, So, I'd like to start with a supplication. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Oh, my Lord, my sins are like the highest mountain. My good deeds are very few. They're like a small pebble. I turn to you, my heart full of shame, my eyes full of tears. Bestow your forgiveness and mercy upon me. Thank you. So I do have a little bit of throat problem going on, but Yousuf dragged me into it. The next piece I want to do, because it's the culture thing, so I don't do it a lot because it's not my language, but how many people know Punjabi here? More hands. Oh, Pakistanis and Punjabis and all that, right? Okay. I know, I don't do it a lot because I don't know the language, it's not my language. But then it is a big part of my country, so here we go. So just people who don't know, this is talking about the Prophet Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. कालियां जुल्फां वाला दुखी दिला दा सहारा कालियां जुल्फां वाला दुखी दिला दा सहारा कसम खुदा दी मैनू सब नालों प्यारा दस्सा की मैं मुस्तफा दी किन्नी सोहनी शान है दस्सा की मैं मुस्तफा दी किन्नी सोहनी शान है आप दी तारीफ विच सारा ही कुरान है आप दी तारीफ विच सारा ही कुरान है पढ़ के तू एक जेड़ा मर्जी से पारा कसम खुदा दी मैनू सब नालों प्यारा करके दुआ सोना सूरज नू मोड़दा करके दुआ सोना सूरज नू मोड़दा आपे चन तोड़दा ते आपे चन जोड़दा आपे चन तोड़दा ते आपे चन जोड़दा आमना दा चन ते हलीमा दा दुलारा कसम खुदा दी मैनू सब नालों प्यारा कालियां जुल्फां वाला दुखी दिला दा सहारा कसम खुदा दी मैनू सब नालों प्यारा कसम खुदा दी मैनू सब नालों प्यारा
I've never heard Punjabi sound so good before.
Oh, yeah, this is my first time. Okay, so Yousuf, you're not going to be with me on this, but I have to do it.
Do it, do it.
I have to do it. You know, I've done it with Keeping Halal before. I've done it with Ryerson before. Okay, before I start this, I want everybody here to listen to it till the end. Most of you might already know this, but then whoever doesn't, listen to it till the end so that you get the point. It's a true story. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It would be such a pleasure to have you come along with me. I accept your gracious offer of kindness and company. But as we walk along, young man, and as you help me with my load, I have only one request. As we travel down this road, don't talk to me about Muhammad. Because of him there is no peace and I have trouble in my mind. So don't talk to me about Muhammad. So you're laughing, everybody's like, oh. Okay, listen to it till the end.
I'm enjoying this.
That man upsets me so, far much more than you could know. I hear of his name and reputation everywhere I go. Though his family and his clan once knew him as an honest man, he's dividing everyone with his claim that God is one. So don't talk to me about Muhammad. Because of him there is no peace and I have trouble in my mind. So don't talk to me about Muhammad. And as we walk along together, we will get along just fine. So this is an elderly lady, and then this young man is helping her out, and now she is complaining about Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, that, you know, the things he used to do. He's misled all the weak ones and the poor ones and the slaves. They think they've all found wealth and freedom, following his ways. He's corrupted all the youth with his twisted brand of truth, convinced them that they all are strong, giving them somewhere to belong. So don't talk to me about Muhammad. Because of him there is no peace and I have trouble in my mind. So don't talk to me about Muhammad. And as we walk along together, we will get along just fine. Thank you now, young man, you've really been so kind. Your generosity and smile are very rare to find. Let me give you some advice, since you have been so very nice. From Muhammad stay away, don't heed his words or emulate his way, and don't talk about Muhammad. You will never have true peace and trouble is all you will find. So don't talk about Muhammad. And as we walk along together, we will get along just fine. Now there's your knees coming to an end. Now before we part and go, if it's alright just the same, may I ask, my dear young man, who are you, what's your name? Now before we part and go, if it's alright just the same, may I ask, my dear young man, who are you, what's your name? Forgive me, what was that? Your words weren't very clear. My ears are getting old, sometimes it's difficult to hear. Listen to it very carefully. It's truly rather funny, though I'm sure I must be wrong, 'cause I thought I heard you said your name is Muhammad. Muhammad. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah. Oh, talk to me, Muhammad. Because of you now I have peace and you have eased my troubled mind. Oh, talk to me, Muhammad. So as I travel down life's road, I will get along just fine. As we walk along together, we will get along just fine. So everybody got what happened, right?
Thanks, Suhaib. Alright, so next we'll have Usman Shabbar, also known as Highlight. He's a second-year student that attends York University, and his student life inspires his work. He's currently working on a mixtape called Stresses of a Student. Please give a big round of applause to Usman Shabbar, aka Highlight.
Hello.
What's up? Namaste. Aloha. Yes, so my name is Usman Shabbar. That's actually a typo, B-A-R. But it's okay, it's all right. So I have two pieces for you tonight. First is called Hypocrisy, that just talks about the world we live in. And then the second one is kind of lighthearted. It's called Stresses of the Student. So this is hypocrisy. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. We live in a world full of regression and hypocrisy. We live in a world where suppression is called democracy. We try for progression but get lessons on debauchery. We need to stand and fight and be strong like the boxers be, so in the social struggle, man, I guess we're Mayweather. Can't knock on our hustle, but we need to play better. Politicking for control, yo, we on the same bender. Old, rich, white power, but we're the main contender. A world where we ignore the suffering and poor. They carry so much weight, and then we say to hold more. We leave their souls sore out in a cold war. Man, I wish this talk was nothing more than some folklore. When women walk down streets without hearing hollers and roars, but what those fellas really have a problem with is themselves at their cores. Out of all the news stories, they never mention these. So I find myself asking you for your attention, please. Your attention, please. We supported a leader who promised hope and change, but he turned out to be another soul deranged, more of the same. The dude can't win a friggin' poker game. It makes you think if he did it for the votes or fame. Boats and planes, saying his name across the side. Familiar tactics, but no need to apologize. Political powers only seek to ostracize, divide us as a people, and ideologize our minds. So they can find and then falsify any bad press so they can hide in disguise, and that all of these citizens will bind over lies. They want our own minds to be blinds over eyes. No, out of all the news stories, they never mention these, so I find myself asking you for your attention, please. Where people call themselves Muslims, but enforce it, compulsion. What happened to no compulsion in religion? Abduction of the faith of your mind, of your ethics, of your spine. Real men don't talk with guns, real men talk with tongues. Real men don't talk with guns, real men talk with tongues. Where an Islamic army kills as many people as they can before Ramadan. Why? So they can worship in peace and seek mercy for their wrongs? This isn't just in Syria, it's an Islamic world phenomenon. It's just so wrong. Where has all of our iman gone? Hypocrisy is the enemy. We need to fight like we're one. We need to fight like we've won. We need to fight as a sum. We need to refrain from being as quiet as nuns. The Muslim voice should not be the shyest of tongues. And when I say fight, I don't mean violence and guns, because as soon as we resort to that, the bias becomes that the Muslim people contain the slyest of shuns. I want to be in Allah's shade during the brightest of suns, don't you? So raise the brightest of sons and the sweetest of daughters. Be the most caring mothers and the keenest of fathers. Treat ignorance from within as an enemy. Treat ignorance from outside with serenity. Make yourself aware of just who you are. Make yourself aware of what tears us apart. Link arm in arm, link mind with mind, because inshallah in time, this faith and the people will shine. You can't fight for what's right by pulling out a knife. We need to be obscene, but also be polite. We need to learn to speak, and we need to learn to write. Getting out our dreams and shining our own light. Our silence should be seen as an oversized crime. We need to get down on our overtime grind. They be drunk off power, we live sober lifetimes. I'm just waiting for the day where the voters might shine. I know these are just words from a young student, but recognize in time these eyes become prudent. We all lie sometimes, but for them it comes fluent. It's our future. We need to be the ones choosing. Thanks. second one is called Stresses of a Student. It's kind of lighthearted. It's all about like student life, so it doesn't really have to do with a whole lot, but I'm sure all of you can relate, assuming that you're all students. So it starts off like this. Class, study, sleep, life is kind of gray. Very little humor, no Tina Fey. More like misery as I write away. I'm trying to finish this 20-page essay. It's so time-consuming working on it night and day, and on top of this, I need to find time to go pray. Oh yay, I get to go home and say, hey mom and dad, school is just great. Tuition, hooray, I get to pay. Now I don't count my debt, instead it's weighed. Why couldn't I be born with hops like Dwayne Wade? I wouldn't have the stress, no more worries. But enough of this laying on my bed daydreaming. I guess God put me on this earth for a reason. For rhymes or for school, man, I still don't know, but I guess for right now, I'm gonna go with my flow, so don't blame me if you see me understudy, cause you know I'm hip-hop's new understudy. I take what I do very seriously. It ain't a joke to me, man, it ain't nothing funny. Life of a student, yeah, it's kind of crummy, and I know I can come off sounding sort of like a dummy, but I'm a genius. If you're my flow in your tummy, you don't have to tell me. I know you think it's yummy. The second verse is, now who says I couldn't rhyme about exams? I impressed myself when I could study and write jams, even though when it comes down to it, you know I might cram. My producer and my pop saying, better get it right, man. Oh, damn. Enough pressure from my fam. Now they want me to get this mixtape out right now, although all my moms is yelling at me to pipe down because I'm rapping late at night, telling me to turn my lights out. So what else can I do except for rap in my head? Well, I guess I could study, but I'd rather go to bed. And with that said, I gotta visit my tool shed to find a saw or something to take care of my bruised head. The stress is getting to me. What do I do when my mind is so full of pollution? You got a solution? I need help with my institution of academia and with my rhyming distribution. I want to see my dreams coming to fruition, subtract my stresses and provide an addition of goals achieved and dreams realized, of rewards of having your eyes on the prize. Soon, hopefully, my confidence will rise to the point where there'll be no limit to my size. But for now, I'll stay insane, staring at my stress vein. After all, I got a GPA to maintain. Thanks.
Hey, so you were really good. I like that.
Thanks a lot.
You have like a fan page on Facebook?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So do you already have did you have like the second one on like a something already?
Sorry?
You already have like the second one like on a channel already?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So next we'll be having another youth here. His name is Desmond Watts. He's a Guyanese-born poet, studies international relations and African studies. His work revolves around living in Toronto, his Christian faith. Please give a big, warm welcome to Desmond Watts.
Good night, everyone. Come on, you just say food. You should be a little more excited than that. Anyway, yeah. So I'm just gonna do one poem for you. I was just kind of asked to, as per just a while back, just asked like to do that's why does my faith connect towards social justice, and so this is just what that poem's about. I just call it a reflection. As I walk the streets of Toronto, sometimes I like to stop and reflect, slowly dissect what's going on around me, and I can't help but notice all the abundance that surrounds me. Nice buildings, high towers, people walking, they look as if they were in positions of power, and so many others with so many gadgets. Seems a path has been set for those gadgets to be tied to our identity, so now you're either on Team Mac or Team PC, Team iPhone, Team BlackBerry, I can't forget Team Android. And sometimes I really wish I had a Polaroid, because it seems in Toronto I can't go far without seeing a wonderfully, amazingly looking car. Or sometimes I just walk around and stop and be like, oh shoot, that dude, man, he has such an exquisitely tailored suit, inspiring me to follow suit and try to get one of my own. But then as I'm starting to think, I realize I need to get out of this zone because something's missing from my vision. And as I adjust my optical prism, I start to see for the many that live in abundance, there are millions around the world that live on ridiculously less. For those addressed to impress, there are many people around the world in situations of distress. And in Toronto, a city of so-called progress, there's many neighborhoods that are here that are still a mess. Evidence that challenges don't just exist globally, they exist locally. And as I look within me, I see sympathy, but a part of me wants to go towards apathy, because man, there's so many problems in the world. And then as I keep reflecting, I'm reminded of Jesus' words, and then two realizations come to my mind, two realizations that are really intertwined. See, he said, I was to love God with every part of me and love others to the huge degree that I love myself. These words are known as the greatest commandment, but now I'm starting to think about them just a little bit different. Realizing that loving others doesn't just mean just loving my mother and my brother or the rest of my family or those that are in close proximity. It means loving the world, because for God so loved the world that he gave his only son. And so if I came to be one who follows the son, then I must love the world too. And realization number two was that he showed his love best not in words, but actually tangibly. Yeah, because he loved you and me, took the penalty because he took the penalty reserved for you and me on the cross, because he loved paying the highest cost. And so that love really empowers me. It empowers me not to just sit and enjoying comforts in a world of distractions. It inspires me to put my faith into action, because it inspires me to put my faith into action. And as Dr. Martin Luther King showed, it's a proven fact the world can change when people of faith act. So I challenge you to do the same, to get in the game. Even if you have a different worldview, you can clearly see that our world isn't fine. So don't just settle for sitting on the sidelines, engaging in apathy, but actually just put your faith into action. Because, put your faith into action. Your action can just be giving some money or just giving some time. It could be just a poem or a song, but a little action can go a long way. So the two questions I have for you today are, what are you going to do to help those that are in pain and sorrow? What are you going to do to make sure that there's a brighter tomorrow? Thank you.
Thanks, Desmond. It's so nice to see U of T students out of their natural habitat.
The library.
Alright, so we tried some great poetry tonight. Wouldn't it be lovely if we heard a great story too? Well, lucky for you, the next performer will be doing a story.
And about herself, she says, Lobna El-Gammal is a geek in disguise. She belongs to two islands, the Maths and Sciences Island and the Arts Island. More often than not, you'll find her chilling at the bridge between the two islands, singing songs of love and chemical reactions as she sways her feet back and forth, sitting on the edge of the bridge, daydreaming at the shores of life below and waiting for her diploma in shining armor to rescue her. Sometimes UFG makes her want to jump off the bridge because sitting on the edge can get stressful, but for now, she'll wait it out. Lobna is currently in her second year at University of Toronto studying chemical engineering and is addicted to metaphors, imagery, and alliteration, among many others. She loves all of you. Please welcome Lobna El-Gammal.
So, as mentioned, what I do isn't poetry. It's more like sharing a story, which is why I'm sitting on a chair. I'm not lazy. It just gives the story sharing effect. It's like telling a story. I also didn't memorize it because it's a story, right? So when your parents read you a good night book, they don't have it memorized. So because we're here with a bunch of different cultural organizations, I decided to share something that would remind us sort of where we come from. So as I mentioned, I am seriously addicted to metaphors, so please watch out for them, because if you don't get them, you won't get a lot of stuff, right? So this story is called Mawasim. Mawasim was born from the love and warmth of the eastern and western winds of winter, married to each other by the gusts of passion on the 21st day of this month, 24 years ago. It was December 21st, and the world was celebrating the birth of a season. The land was cold and bare around her baby self, but she was as warm and as bright as the sun is to the fresh snow that is desperate to touch the rays from above, like a lover is to have her heart melted by a prince in shining armor. No, Mawasim wasn't a bundle of warmth, but her father wrapped her in large arms that circulated Mawasim more than the sun can ever circulate the earth. Her mother's smile creased more than a new moon can ever smile to the stars, as the beauty of what her womb had blessed this world with. She lived like this, stealing the heat from her mother's heart, and the desire from her father's dancing sweat for 4 long years. They were the best winter years her mother had seen. 8 months of waiting had built up to a mountain of happiness to crumble over winter's heart the day her baby girl was born. And the groundhog had predicted an early birth. And while all complained too early to introduce her to this world, her parents were content with being iced of pain. And every day this mountain of love grew with piles of snow and would collapse even harder on winter winds' hearts every time Mawasim blew her parents a kiss goodnight. And like so, the shine of snow lighted winter's days for 4 long years. On the first day of school, April 21st, winter's winds packed a lunch bag for the very first time. They were ready to send their little schoolgirl outside to a world of knowledge, and Mawasim's heart was pounding for hallways she'd seen so many times from her window's pane. Mawasim was eager to sit in a class, to study from books and sing and dance in the rain, for spring had finally come. Though the winds wanted to keep Mawasim at home forever, they knew that seasons come and go without control, so they let her go. Mawasim was seeing a new world. She collected raindrops on the curves of her eyelashes as if they were made of gold, and slowly she spent more time dancing in the rain than watching from inside. Each drop of rain enchanted her like no tomorrow and made her eager to see the mother of it all, the ocean. Her father sat perched by the window, watching his baby girl sway to the pouring of the rain, wishing he could be invited to dance with her. Little did Mawasim know these golden drops of rain were tears bled from her mother's heart as Mawasim moved along. Then came June 21st, and Baba winter had it hard. You see, Mawasim was becoming wise and beautiful. She moved on to summer, even bigger a world than spring, and finally saw the ocean, though it can never all be seen. The jackets winter had crocheted so warmly for her daughter were now hung in the closet, collecting dust and time. Mawasim's father was furious as he watched the sun tickle his little girl's skin. How could he let someone else touch her? But Mawasim urged him to go easy on her. She was growing and blossoming like a summer rose, and the sun only tickles the most beautiful flowers. Winter watched from behind the calendar as Mawasim went and came from the beach that summer. They shared ice cream with her every once in a while, but that was it. Mawasim now preferred the heat outside to the warmth inside. Little did she know that though the sun's rays brighten days and shine light, they also burn skin, scorching away at hearts. The next visitor to come was fall, and Mawasim fell head over heels for him. He arrived at her doorstep on September 21st with a bouquet of berries. He came with colors Mawasim had never seen and hung them on trees right outside her window, making the twigs dance to his romantic melodies. Though it got chilly, Mawasim never put on those winter coats. They were so last season. Instead, she covered herself in the leaves of autumn, making dresses and cushions of the leaf piles. While everyone raked away at the leaves, she soaked in their lightness for nights on end, for this was the first time she saw the stars so clear. And as if staying out all day wasn't enough, she spent the nights with the bushes and the trees, staring at the shining skies as if they were more beautiful than the snowflakes her mother cried inside. Her father's heart ached to see his daughter's heart dance to the deceiving songs of a man who knew no commitment. He wanted to rip her from his trees and tell her to wake up, but he feared the fragility of a female heart. She lived like this for another 4 years, romantically in love with the sparkle of the sky and the chill of the air, while her parents aged inside. Little did Mawasim know that every one of Mr. Falls' leaves crumbled to the floor, surreal as they are, leaving the branches bare and naked to fend for themselves after they have touched every leaf to fall. And finally, her birth season has come and winter is waiting at the tip of the bridge to finally hug its long-lost daughter who was taken away by the seasons. Father has prepared a bed of snow just for Mawasim, and the angels have come down to lie in the snow with her. Her mother has spent hours heating the hot chocolate and preparing the fire. Tonight they will rejoice and share stories of love by the fireplace in the laps of one another. The scents of home-cooked meals and nights bundled in sweaters are calling her back. But like the ice can break from just one pebble, this image shatters as Mawasim smiles and decides, I want to travel the world, Baba. She wanted to visit her friends winter, summer, and spring across the globe, and so she left home. There's a 12-year gap in this story because nobody knows what happened across the globe. I guess Mawasim moved around a lot. She stayed at winter's place for a bit, visited summer, and chilled with spring. And 24 years after her being, she thought, I sort of miss home. So that winter, Mawasim rode the waves back to the shores she calls home. She had been content with her trip, but really missed Mom. She ran home like a school kid on their first day back, eager to tell stories of their days. She will finally be a kid again. She's missed those times. But Mawasim has missed the train, and the winter is long past. And she writes now to you the story of her return to a home no more. This day, December 21st, I learned what will keep the crack in my heart open like a wound that no stitches of regret or remorse conceal. I come back to where I came from to find that home has melted away. That my palace of ice on which I carved my childhood dreams, in which my father's bare hands sculpted to perfection, was now a pool of water in which I could not swim. That the wood of my fireplace has degraded to nothing but ash that I cannot hold in my hands. The ice on my heart has melted, and now I can see clearly what I was to face. I called on spring to come and rescue me, but it was nowhere to be found. You see, it cannot rain unless there are clouds in the sky. Summer didn't come to comfort my heart because the sun had set long ago and was sleeping underground. Fall couldn't catch my fall this time because the ground was bare, not a single leaf in sight. And I remembered that the only place that would take me in is the one that needs no other. Winter does not depend on the sun, the clouds, the heart, or the heat, or the leaves. It is in the absence of all the most beautiful of seasons. But now it's too late. The globe has warmed too much and the snow will not fall this year. The winds are nowhere to be found, and I search my heart for a memory of the cold. So in Mawasim's memory of wind, let us dedicate this story to where we came from. And may we never shy away from our roots, regardless of how cold they make winter seem. It's true that seasons must come and go, and the winds have carried each and every one of us afar. But there is no shame in that we are born of the ice. No shame that we did not soak in the sun or dance in the rain as little kids. If winter was not, then none of us would be. So why do we ever fall to the traps of others who color themselves and we consider them beautiful? But there's more beauty in our winter where we come, because to give birth in the cold is harder than giving birth in the warmth. So let's all travel the globe, visiting different seasons, but return to winter what it deserves, the love it will always be sending our way.
That was a great story.
You guys enjoy that?
Yes. Right, so the story was about life, but we wondered, do UFT students even have a life, like outside of Facebook?
Hey, aren't you UFT yourself? Well, you're a Ryerson, you don't want to get run in the exit.
I got some pretty harsh comments last time.
Good, but not the jokes.
Not the jokes?
Bro, but you're 15, man. Come on. Yeah, do jokes. Like, we came here. Get off stage. Facebook is lit now.
You know, besides being a source of existence for the UFT students, it was also a source of liberation for the Egyptians. Our next performer is Nosayba El Sayed, who is a PhD student at UFT in computer science. She is an Egyptian, she likes to read and write, and every now and then tends to be a political expert on the Middle East. Please welcome Nosayba.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So my piece is going to be in Arabic. I just want to know how many people are going to understand what I'm about to say. So can you raise your hand if you understand Arabic? Ah, okay, not so bad. Mostly the left side, so bye everyone. Okay, so I just a quick comment. First of all, can you all hear me? Okay. So a quick comment on this poem I wrote. I wrote it exactly at this week of February last year, because at this particular week in February, people were protesting in Tahrir Square in Egypt. Let's hear it for the Egyptian Revolution. So at this time last year, former President Mubarak hadn't resigned yet, right? So around, actually 10th of February was exactly the night of when he resigned. So at this time last year, people were starting to get confused. We started hearing things like people asking the protesters in Tahrir to go back to school, to go back to their lives and go back to go to work and leave Tahrir and stop protesting and stuff like that. And their point was that this is going nowhere, and we're not really seeing the benefits of these demonstrations. So it's time to go back to work and just forget about this whole thing and stop asking for a decent life, because some people just thought that we didn't deserve it. So my message in this poem was for the brave people in Tahrir. My message is that stay where you are, because when people stop asking for a decent life will not be given to them. It's in Arabic, but I tried to translate every segment. Actually, Dalia helped me with the translation over there. So if you don't like the translation, please take it out on her. So it's going to be in Arabic, but try to read English if you don't understand the Arabic. Okay, so here it goes. قالوا إذا الشعب يوما أراد الحياة فلا بد أن يستجيب القدر. قلنا وإن لم يرد. قالوا وأنى له. وبالأمس القريب كان يوم غضب. في ساحة التحرير من كل ركن بعيد جاء الشعب وللحق انتفض. في ساحة التحرير من كل ركن بعيد جاء الشعب وللحق انتفض. يطلب الحرية. يريد إسقاط النظام. بعد أن تجبر في الأرض أعواما فعاش الشعب في كبد. يطلب الحرية. يريد إسقاط النظام بعد أن تجبر في الأرض أعواما فعاش الشعب في كبد. أما كانت بالأمس جمعة غضب. في ساحة التحرير سجدت الجباه وخفضت الأصوات وخشعت القلوب لله وبكت. في ساحة التحرير سجدت الجباه وخفضت الأصوات وخشعت القلوب لله وبكت. قلنا وإن لم يرد، وإن شن عليه النظام حربا بعد يوم الغضب، فأرسل البلطجية وفرسان الخيل والجمال حتى سال الدم في ساحة التحرير، وتسلل في النفوس العتب. وتسلل في النفوس العتب. قالوا ولم العتب؟ ولم العتب؟ ألم يكن الشعب يريد الحياة؟ ألم يرفض العنف مرارا وبالسلم رغب؟ ألم يرفض العنف مرارا وبالسلم رغب؟ قالوا قلنا لقد بث النظام سمومه فأوهم الشعب أن ساحة التحرير لعب وأن طلب الحرية شغب. أوهم الشعب أن ساحة التحرير لعب وأن طلب الحرية شغب. قالوا ما لشعب الكنانة أن يصدق هذا الكذب؟ أما كانت بالأمس جمعة الرحيل وبالغد صمود وجلد؟ أما كانت بالأمس جمعة الرحيل وبالغد صمود وجلد؟ قلنا إن شاء الله يكون حتى وإن طال الأمد. إن شاء الله يكون حتى وإن طال الأمد. فالشعب إذا لم يرد الحياة يوما فلا خير فيها ولا سعادة. That's it. شكرا. Thank you.
الشعب يريد إسقاط النظام.
So our next performer is Tahseen Shaikh. She is pursuing a degree in Near Middle Eastern Civilizations at the University of Toronto. She enjoys painting, sketching, reading, and learning new languages. She says that art is a way to release her emotions and a cathartic experience. These pieces were sparked by her guiding inspiration. Put your hands together for Tahseen Shaikh.
Assalamualaikum. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. That's a tough act to follow, but this is something I just kind of quickly wrote, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So there's two pieces. The first one is as follows. With strong hands and weak knees, she found respite in the lonely solitude of dark nights, knowing too well the true faces of daylight, choosing to snuff the flame of hope time and time again. With a strong mind and a weak heart, she fell for the hubris of the fallen, making him her shelter of protection, all the while knowing the eventuality of shattering that illusion, her, the girl who finds respite in the lonely solitude of dark nights. And this is the second piece. There is a meadow on the outskirts of consciousness. Will you meet me there? There, where all that is far is near. Run with wild abandon through the tall grass, hand in hand, as if time has ceased to pass. There, where all that is far is near. Oh, my sweet dear, will you meet me there? Lay amidst the shelter of grace, admiring the transcendence of the one, side by side, as radiant as the sun. There, where all that is far is near. Oh, my sweet dear, will you meet me there? Seeing the true gift of endless invocations, face to face, in awe of this long-awaited completion. There, where all that is far is near. Oh, my sweet dear, will you meet me there?
Yes, Next up, we'll have Yousuf Faroqi. He's a Ryerson student, so let's hear it up for that. He uses Afghan culture to inspire his poetic work. He's performed at Miss Toronto, the Afghan Independence Day Festival, and your very own Ryerson Theatre. Give a big hand for Yousuf Faroqi.
Yes, everybody. Oh, that's cool.
That's not mine.
Yeah.
And that's
spoilers. He spelled my name correctly. Okay, so
throughout history, people have always had trouble understanding the youth. Yes, the generation gap is there, but I believe that lack of expressions and communication has been the cause of this barrier between the youth and the rest. We're young blood, and we wish to be heard and understood. A major problem in our society today is that we lack communication with our elders. We shouldn't be afraid to open up to them, especially when the topic of marriage and love comes up. It is, okay, it's an open secret. I know people like to keep it a secret, but it's an open secret. That flash really killed my eyes. It's an open secret that we all want to be in love, okay? To share our lives with this person we admire and love. One group of Sahaba, they were sitting right outside the masjid, and they were talking and laughing. And so at this time, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he walks by, and then when he sees the group of young Sahaba, he tells them, you know, those of you who can get married should get married. The reason why he said that is because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he knows. I mean, what we go through and what the youth go through. And as I said before, it's an open secret. So this poem is dedicated to the youth of today and tomorrow, and it's called, okay, by the way, I actually wrote a little bit of it on Facebook, and I teased it, and I said, look, whoever comes to this event, I will read all of it. So I fulfilled my promise. It's called, actually, I'll just read this one now. Hello, can you hear me? Yeah. I don't have it memorized yet. Okay, so it's called Feeling of Love. I know some of you go through this. Don't laugh, but just listen to it, trust me. This is from a guy's perspective. There's a girl I feel falling in love with. My heart is empowering my mind, and my thoughts lost. When I see her, I lower my gaze, but my eyes just lift up. And the inner fight starts. If she smiles at you, you're gone, Yousuf. You're gone. Thank God I don't see her. Thank God I don't see her often. I will fall weak to the sight of her eyes, and the misery will begin. But I get fooled by myself. She's a hijabi. What if she's the one? But I don't believe in this love thing. Though mesmerized with the feeling of love, and love with the feeling of love, the without reason smiles, the I'm depressed face, the colorful world, and the promises of happily ever after. Yes. Oh world, understand youth. We long for love and someone to share our lives with. It's only natural to be in love with the feeling of love. Love with the feeling of love. And I'm not afraid to say. I'm not afraid to say what I feel inside, so the youth of today and tomorrow can know that we're all the same, forever and always, wanting to be in love. Thank you. Okay, so shifting the topic, we know that even the Jummah Khutbah was based on Syria. Our brothers and sisters are going through a lot of problems in Syria, so I'm going to ask everybody to close their eyes, and inshallah we'll make dua for our brothers and sisters in Syria. May Allah make it easy for them. May Allah give them what they want. I know I seen this one video that really touched me. It was this one youth, he was speaking, he was saying that, you know what, neither can the Arab League give us freedom, nor can Obama give us freedom. Who gives us freedom? And the whole crowd was saying, Allah, it gives us freedom. So who gives us freedom? Allah. Allah gives us freedom. And they would keep on reciting, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحُ وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ أَفْوَاجًا فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَاسْتَغْفِرْهُ إِنَّهُ كَانَ تَوَّابًا. May Allah make it easy for them and give them the liberation they deserve and they need. May Allah make it easy on all of us, the people who are in Afghanistan and Syria, the brothers in Pakistan and Egypt, as we talked, as we heard about, and all the Muslims that are going through suffers. And also, I want that story. That story was so good.
And then Allah help you get married, Yousuf.
Listen. You're probably going through this feeling too. You're just too shy to explain it.
That was very romantic. Apologies for not putting your contact information up on the slide.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Biodata.
Next time.
So the last thing that we're doing tonight is we're going to screen a short film that was created by Lake Radov, and it was shown at the DC Mist. You probably know about it. It's called Indifference, and it's a very powerful short film. Please enjoy.
Full video. Click on video.
I always thought being in a crime would get you in trouble.
Keeping It Halal would like to thank the partners, the Afghan Students Association at Ryerson, the Pakistani Students Association at Ryerson, as well as the Youth T. St. George Arab Students Association. But before we leave the stage, we'd like to call our performers back on stage just one last time. You can make your way up. A big hand. Yeah. We get one more round of applause for them.
You guys were awesome.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
Whenever there's an event, just let me know. I love doing it. And please remember me in all your du'as, inshallah.
Sure.
And whoever, I heard some amazing poets, and I would really like to work with you, the sister who did the Arabic poetry, because I don't know Arabic, and you're going to help me out with the poetry and the pronunciation. So we'll stay in touch.
Jamal.
Thanks for having me, everybody.
It is an honor, guys. Amazing event, amazing poets, amazing stories. Honored to be a part of it. Thanks.
Nosayba? Thank you. Shukran. One word, since most of you are undergrads, so focus on school and get a good GPA and just forget a little bit about marriage for now. Thank you guys for the opportunity. This is really
Do you have a rich for him?
1 second, Yousuf.
MashaAllah, bro.
That's how we feel. I didn't say I want to do it.
Bro, if I was a girl, I'd marry you, but I can't.
I want to finish my undergrad though.
No, bro, you're not.
Anas and I really enjoyed MCing for you guys, and if we offended anyone with our jokes, please forgive us.
You're forgiven.
We know you all work really hard. Have a safe trip home. Have a good night. And see you at our next event.
Did we get it all? This
I got the, I didn't record the video, but I got the conclusion, so that's good.